Hello and welcome to News Hour on Unity TV. Today is Wednesday, 9th of August 2021. It's equivalent to 22nd of Muharram 1444 after Hijrah. The headlines: Diplomacy best way forward in Niger, force still on table, says presidency. Nigerian troops global unemployment rating, says report. Man kidnaps. Nigeria tops global unemployment rating, says report. Man kidnaps kill brothers, 2 sons in Ogun. And on the foreign scene, we may be pushed to invade Niger, US tells co-plotters. And in sports, FIFA Pro tackles NFF over Falcons unpaid bonuses. And those were the headlines. And for details and more of the stories, I am Rukayat Sani Ibrahim. Nigeria's president and head of the West African bloc ECOWAS has not ruled out military intervention in Niger, but believes diplomacy is the best way forward to resolve the crisis. His spokesman said Tuesday Bola Tinubu weighed in for the first time since the soldiers behind the coup in Niger defied the bloc's Sunday deadline to reinstate elected President Mohamed Bazoum or face the possible use of force. Meanwhile, Tinubu's spokesman Ajuri Ngalale said efforts by ECOWAS and the United States to parley with Niger's new rulers have made no headway ahead of a crisis summit in the Nigerian capital, Abuja, on Thursday. Meanwhile, the United States said it still held out hope for reversing the coup but was realistic a day after a top U.S. envoy made no visible progress in an unannounced visit. Earlier, the soldiers who seized power in Niamey on July 26 blocked a mission by ECOWAS in the run-up to the summit. In a letter, the coup leaders said that public anger triggered by ECOWAS sanctions meant the delegation's safety could be at risk. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday vowed to end Nigeria's over-reliance on borrowing to finance public spending. He made the vow at the inauguration of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. Nigeria's total public debt rose sharply by 501% in the nation's total debt in 8 years to 72.55 trillion naira in March 2023 from 12.06 trillion naira in March 2015. A development driven by increased borrowing worsened by the global pandemic and economic recessions in 2016 and 2022. Furthermore, the country spent 3.36 trillion naira to service debts in 2022, representing 14.68% increase from 2.93 trillion naira in 2021. According to the World Bank, Nigeria spent 96.3% of its revenue on debt servicing in 2022 from 83.2% in 2021, projecting that the debt service to revenue ratio may rise to 103% in 2023. Recall that the president set up the committee, chaired by a tax and fiscal policy expert, Tayo Oyedele, on July 7, 2023. The committee, which comprises experts from both the private and public sectors, is responsible for the various aspects of tax law reform, fiscal policy design and coordination, harmonization of taxes and revenue administration. In his remarks at the inauguration yesterday, President Tinubu said the committee was in line with his promise to remove all barriers impeding business growth in Nigeria. The federal government yesterday begged the striking members of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors not to shift their planned nationwide protest and stop the ongoing strike for the sake of Nigerians because many people are dying in numbers in the hospitals across the country. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Labour and Employment, Daju Kachelum, made this appeal in Abuja when she addressed journalists at the ministry's headquarters, Abuja. This is the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, yesterday appealed to the federal government to urgently resolve all areas of disagreement. NMA President Dr. Uche Ojima said the association will continue to protect the interests of members of NAD as a matter of policy, lamenting that the avoidable labor dispute had gone too far. Daju, who has been conciliating on behalf of government with unions, newsmen begged the NAD members not to allow more Nigerians to die due to their absence in the hospitals. Nigeria tops in the ranking of countries with the highest rate of unemployment in the world according to the latest statistics released by the World of Statistics. Nigeria led with 33.3%, followed by another African country, South Africa, 32.9%, and Iran, 15.55%. According to the report, the lowest rate of unemployment were in countries like Qatar with 0.1%, Cambodia 0.36%, and Niger 0.5%. But the unemployment rate in Nigeria increased to 33.30% in the fourth quarter of 2022 from 27.10% in the second quarter of 2020, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. Meanwhile, in a recent report by KPMG, the Nigerian unemployment rate had increased to 37.7% in 2022 and would further rise to 40.6% due to the continuing inflow of job seekers into the job market. Troops of Operation Wild Punch of the Nigerian Army have killed 3 bandits during a raid at the Hiders in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State. A statement issued by the Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations Officer of 1 Mechanized Division of the Nigerian Army, Musa Yahaya, on Tuesday, said the troops recovered AK-47 rifles, 2 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles, 7 AK-47 magazines, and 8 motorcycles, among others, during the operation. A man, Tayo Ishola, has allegedly killed 2 sons of his younger brother Idowu after he reportedly kidnapped the children at Abata, a village in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital. It was gathered that the killing was perpetrated in a bush in the Mile 6 area of Ajabo in Abeokuta. Newsmen learned that Idowu had raised the alarm after he discovered that his children's 9-year-old Promise and 7-year-old Testimony were missing. A source close to the family who spoke on condition of anonymity told newsmen on Tuesday that the children went missing last weekend and they were last seen with Tayo. Another resident in the community who gave her name as Iya Alimat disclosed that the community found it shocking when the news reached them on Saturday that the children were killed. The State Public Relations Officer, Omolola Odutola, who confirmed the incident, said the police immediately went after Tayo, saying the suspect later confessed to committing the offense. Odutola disclosed that the case had been transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department at the state headquarters, Eleweren, for further investigation. 2 suspected kidnappers have been shot dead in Iwo, Osun State as a combined security team of police and hunters rescued a father identified simply as Alhaji Adamu, who was abducted in Abbas, a village, in the early hours of Tuesday. It was for the land that the policemen and hunters stormed the bush in the area located where Adamu was held and engaged his abductors in exchange of gunshots. During the shootout, 2 of the abductors were reportedly shot dead, while others fled into the bush with gunshot injuries. When contacted, the State Police Public Relations Officer Yamisi Opalola confirmed the incident and called for improved collaboration from all stakeholders to tackle crimes in all parts of the state. And on the foreign scene, the United States of America has warned the Niger junta that America may be pushed to be involved militarily if the country's military rulers do not return to constitutional order. The U.S. Acting Deputy Secretary Victoria Nuland, in a special briefing on Niger, disclosed this via a teleconference on Tuesday. She noted that the U.S. will be watching the situation closely and there are a number of regional meetings coming up and consultations with allies and partners that need to be made. Nuland noted that President Joe Biden have been in constant touch with President Tinubu, the ECOWAS chairman, as well as many other European allies. And in sport, just a day after the Super Falcons eliminated from the ongoing FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, the International Federation of Professional Footballers and the Nigerian Football Federation are in a war of words over the payment of outstanding bonuses and allowances of the players, which dates back to 2021. In a statement on Tuesday, FIFA Pro confirmed that it received complaints from the players over the outstanding monies with the federation. FIFA Pro Proda stated that players' determination to get their payments after avoiding the distraction in the course of the tournament. In a reply to FIFA Pro's statement, the NFF described the Global Players Union's action as nothing more than a storm in a team cup. The NFF insisted that it will pay the players what they and FIFA promised them, adding that they will be paid for the friendly matches and qualifying matches they were owed, appearance fees and bonuses once FIFA paid the World Cup money. According to sources, the payment from 2021 include $1,000 for each player as bonus for the summer series in the US when the Falcons played against USA, Portugal and Jamaica, which some of them have been paid while others are yet to receive theirs. And with the sport news, we've come to the end of our bulletin for today. You can follow us on our social media handles at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at TUNTBE Radio FM TV, respectively. You can also watch us live on the satellite decoder Sat, which has been watched in about 38 countries of the world free. You can also stream and watch us live on our YouTube channel at Unity FM TV. I am Rukayat Sani Ibrahim. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of our programs. Do have yourself a lovely day. Bye-bye.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.